If you make
When I'm talking about twerking, because I twerk,
You do
does
twerk?
that I do.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean that I'm not wife material?
To some men, yeah.
If you were my wife,
Yeah.
and you went to a club and you were twerking,
So are we saying strippers are not
get
wife
out
material?
of here, man.
Welcome to Bridge the Gap, a show where we aim to build a bridge of understanding between opposing views.
You need a mediator in this circle.
Each episode, you'll see our participants sit down to discuss some thought-provoking statements.
Marriage is an outdated institution.
If they disagree with the statement, they'll leave their seat and allow those that agree to explain themselves.
The marriage, you say, for better, for worse, till death do us part, and people get divorced all the time. I would consider getting married today if it was illegal to get divorced.
Those that disagree then return and express themselves to the rest of the group.
Getting back there like double dutch, like they want to get in.
There were so many points I disagreed with. I just need to say, firstly, the divorce statement. It is hard to get divorced. I say that because there are several steps you have to take.
Hopefully building a bridge of understanding.
Would you agree that if 50% of people that get married are doing it, it's not that hard?
Let's see what happens.
Do you think it's hard to give birth?
There are
That's incorrect.
I believe I'll get married someday.
Well,
Yeah, like previously said, I'm getting married in January, so and I've been engaged since last February.
my name is Melvin. I'm a chartered surveyor, and I work in management of like construction buildings for housing associations.
Yeah, I just thought it was an important next stage, next chapter of my life, so I just decided to go for it.
But a lot can happen between now and then though.
Well, I've already been engaged for almost a year and a half.
But engagement does not equal marriage.
Yeah, no, obviously not yet, but it's a long time to really think about it and decide if that's really what you want to go for.
Why did you guys choose to get married when the contract is like against you?
The contract is against
Yeah,
you.
so like women can leave and take half and put you on child support. So if I was a guy, like I would have a really hard time getting married.
But a man
and that's
could
why,
do the same.
What?
A man could do the same.
Not statistically. Okay, so my name is Pearl and I do YouTube. And she can take your kids. Like men only get sole custody 7% of the time. And women leave 80% of the time and they leave 90% if they're college educated. So if I was a dude and I was looking at these numbers in front of me, like I would have a really hard time with it.
But I think if it's the type of woman that you are. So for example, the reason why I sat down is because my someday was a day. I was married. Hi, I'm Camilla. I am an event host and presenter. I did that contract. I said, right, this is the right thing for me to do at that time. I had a 2-year engagement. In that time, I was thinking, I think it was too long.
I think so.
Yeah, so by the time I got down the aisle, I was hella confused and I didn't know whether that was exactly the right thing for me to do. However, I was the higher earner. So I didn't look at that contract like it would affect me, to be honest.
But you're the girl. And so like the courts favor women in general. And so like from a girl's point of view, I want to get married. Of course I want to get married. But like if I was a guy, I would have a really hard time with it. And you could say it's the type of woman, but 50% of marriages end in divorce. Women leave the majority of the time. I don't think it's the type of woman. I think it's that they're paying women to leave.
And I only think
50% succeed as well.
That's true. But it's like
but do they succeed happily?
But
because I know a lot of married people that are not happily married, and I'm choosing to be single,
If they were that unhappy,
happily
they could
single.
have divorced. So the 50%
But-
No, because
stayed.
divorce is long. I'm telling you from someone that's been in it. It's long, it's expensive, it's emotional, it's hard work. Most of us can't be bothered.
When you have a contract that someone's paid to leave, like more people are going to do it. And you could argue that it's the quality of the woman, but if it's a 50% chance she can take your kids and take half. Like if I was a guy, I would have a hard time with it. So I'm curious what makes you guys want to go through with that.
Well, you're using the key word
Contracts, exactly.
which is what I don't see my marriage as. My name is Ayokunu. I'm an entrepreneur. And then I think...
But it is, like right now, the way it is. It is a contract.
Legally speaking, it's a contract,
But if you were married traditionally, there is no contract, but you're still married and you still have the value. So I don't even think, I personally don't link marriage to a contract.
No.
Because you could be married as a Muslim under...
You could, but the thing is, the government twists guys' arm basically and makes them get married. Because if a guy lives with a girl for so long, it's still classified like legally as.
I think for me, obviously you're painting a picture of a big risk, and then even from that paradigm, I think you know in life, let's just be honest, there's no growth outside of the realm of taking risks. So for me, like I see my marriage to my wife as something, I call it covenant rather than a contract. And I see it as a commitment to her based on my love for her. So my mindset is not going to be about, well, what if? It's going to be about, what if this could be something that could last a lifetime? What if this could produce children that will be X, Y, and Z? So I think it's just more about the value that I put on it, what I'm willing to put in it, what I believe she's willing to put in it as well, based on what she's shown me and responding to me, to my love. And that's the reason why. So,
But I think it's to do with your attitude in terms of what marriage means to you.
100%.
Because marriage doesn't necessarily mean the contract. It means, as you said, the covenant and the love.
Yeah.
If you're not ready for that selflessness, because that's, for me, why marriages fail, is because people are, their value bases are different.
Yes.
Their goals and aspirations for what they want out of that union, marriage, that's where the clash happens.
They
if they're
ask
not
people-
aligned, it won't work.
No, they ask people why they file, and the number one reason is financial. And oftentimes it's like because a girl starts out earning her husband, and then she.
And that's what I'm saying about values.
Yeah.
If you love someone, you're going to want to see them grow.
But the
You're gonna
majority
wanna
of
see
people
them
that get
grow.
divorced still remarry though.
Exactly, like myself.
So they obviously saw the value in the institution
Right.
for them to go and look for it again, even though they had a failed one the first time.
I agree with I think marriage is good for families. Like, I want to get married, but I just think that the laws need to change to make it equal for men. In the US, it's even worse, but here there's issues too. But in the US, like, I'm from Chicago, and there's a case where a woman literally took the kid to Japan.
Wow.
And she claimed child support because she said, oh, he's not in the kid's life legally. And she gets roughly 10K a month to steal his child. When there are cases like that all over the country, there's cases like that in the UK too. When that is the outcome of divorce, like, if I was a guy, I would be scared shitless to get married. Yeah.
The reason I didn't see myself getting married is kind of what you said, the way the laws are today. Yes, marriage can mean different things to different people, but the contract is very much there. And the way the laws work today, it puts men in an incredibly vulnerable position. A lot of people don't realize that divorce is one of the number one factors for why men over 40 kill themselves, because they are emotionally, financially, economically devastated. My name is Kit Isarosho. I'm a full-time actor and content creator. Because of our attitudes today, there's not really much you can have, or rather, you can have everything that the meaning of marriage brings outside of the contract of marriage.
I think that marriage in the Western world has become a joke. It's become a reality show. You got 90 Day Fiancé. You got Love at First Sight, Married at First Sight. My name is Sarah Garvey. I am a professional podcaster, social commentator, and generally a people that pisses people off. You got all of these marriage shows, and then people want to act like marriage is some kind of sanctimonious, holy thing. It's not. It's literally a reality show. And so when people are watching these things on a day-to-day basis and consuming marriage, literally, there are people on TV that have 90 days to get a visa and marry,
But it's
right?
because it's relatable. So they have cooking shows because cooking is relatable.
Yeah, but
they have makeup shows.
cooking's
because
not holy.
Makeup is relatable. It's just a topic.
But
Marriage
cooking's not holy.
Marriage doesn't have to be holy.
No, but marriage is a union.
Civil ceremony in the.
Yeah, all right.
But
all right.
you
so-
guys don't, come on, you guys don't think that says something about our society
Yeah,
today?
the society's broken.
And
That's what I was
it's
going to say. It
not-
comes back to the propaganda of why those shows exist, and maybe the agenda behind of why that show actually exists.
No, the thing is, it exists because it can only exist if there is a market for consumption for it. Because
100%.
you can have something on the shelf that people don't like, and people won't buy it.
100%.
But the bottom line is
That's
people.
relatable. Everybody knows.
It's relatable.
Right, so then the society's
you can
broken.
also paint a picture of what that should look like, or propaganda and agenda behind that, and be like.
So society doesn't take marriage seriously, and that you can go back to the statistics. 50% of marriages end in divorce. If I
That doesn't mean.
And
No, but hang on.
on top of that, it's mostly the
That doesn't mean
it's
they take it
on top of
seriously.
that, on top
No,
of
but,
that.
no, but hang on. But if I said to you, you can go to your greatest holiday destination, the best one you can go to, you can think of in your mind, and you get on that plane, and that plane has a 50% chance of reaching your destination, you're going to get on that plane?
Well, no, but that's
nothing
two
is
different
guaranteed.
things.
No, you won't, because you know that it's too risky to actually
You
get on
don't
the plane,
think- you don't
right? But
think-
you're
you don't
expecting
think-
me.
you
But you're
you
looking at
guys
it
get
from
that.
one
paradigm of
You don't
risk.
think it's that serious when you could lose custody of your children?
No, but if you look at it on this way, like, how many relationships say you have a child or whatever, You had a relationship, you didn't get married or whatever. How many of those break up?
Exactly, and there's so
It's gonna
many
be a lot
baby
less than-
fathers
it's gonna be
that
a lot
don't
more
get
than
to see
50%.
their children
Look
for
at-
one night stand.
I think-
so. It still
How many
doesn't
of
make
those people
sense.
stay together?
on
You've
top
got baby
of that,
mothers that are not letting you see your children. You don't need to be married
you're
for
right,
that.
You're right. I'm with it. Like I think the laws are like those laws need to change too.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I'm saying like right now the laws disproportionately affect men. So if men don't start walking away, there will never be change.
Maybe
Right.
men need to fight. The
No.
same way women have to fight.
Men need to get the
men
law
need to
changed.
fight.
they make fun of men. Like when they say
Who makes fun of men?
I do this all the time. I interview people on the street daily. When I talk about men's rights, women will come and say, men, like what rights do they need? But they don't
Yeah.
understand like the laws protect women from
I'll tell you,
Okay, guys. So, marriage is an outdated institution.
I'll stay.
If you agree, you stay, yeah?
Yeah, do I?
I'm gonna bring.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree.
It's outdated.
I don't think it's outdated.
'Cause
Yeah, it's outdated.
it's outdated.
I've already got the new contract. Yeah, because we're talking about contract. I've got the new contract.
Yeah.
I think human beings right now should do either temporary marriage contracts or rolling relationship contracts. And I mean this. I mean, if you find someone that you actually want to be with, yeah, you can laugh.
It's true though. I agree with you.
Listen, you can laugh, but the way the divorce rate's going right now, it's
I
like,
agree with you.
yeah.
I agree with you.
But I'm saying if you have like a relationship contract that lasts it, you decide with your partner, well, let's try this for a year. If we're happy after a year, we'll continue the contract. And within that contract, you can stipulate to your partner and your partner can stipulate to you exactly what they want from the relationship and exactly what they expect from the relationship.
The reason I think marriage is outdated is because a lot of ways in how the government oversees marriage is largely based on the way society worked 60 years ago. So the whole reason why, you know, the divorce court and family court seem today so biased towards the women was because those laws were set up in a time where women didn't have the same earning potential as men, they didn't have the same rights as men. But now they do, but those laws haven't been updated. So I do think it's outdated. Also, you know, there was a conversation earlier saying that marriage is taken seriously in the government. No, it's not. Because in marriage, you say for better, for worse, till death do us part, and people get divorced all the time. I would consider getting married today if it was illegal to get divorced.
I hear that. I actually hear that.
Yeah, I
Because it's
think
too easy to get divorced.
I think marriage as an institution works, but the problem is the way they do it today just doesn't work. Women are different today than they were in the 1950s. It's not the same type of women.
And essentially, what was marriage for? Like, when you got married, you were getting married to a virgin. That's the whole white dress thing, right? You'll be hard pressed to find a virgin woman nowadays. You know what I mean? That you're gonna get married to. So a man knows that he was going to get this woman untouched, and she was going to be his for life.
Yeah.
You ain't getting no untouched woman nowadays.
And that's the thing. If a woman slept with, if she's a virgin, she has an 80% chance of having a happy marriage in 10 years. If she slept with more than 5 partners, which most men would pray for nowadays, it goes down to a 20% chance. So women are different than they were in the 1950s.
Also as well, I think nowadays, people get married for love, but marriage has always been about duty.
Yes.
It's always been about, when you say you marry someone, you're saying, I am committing to fulfilling the role of being the husband to you and the father to the children, for better, for worse, and vice versa for the woman being the wife and the mother. But now everybody gets married for love, and love fluctuates. But
people get married for clout.
You also
not just love.
It's so true.
You also used to have the families involved.
Very much so.
And so like fathers would vet the people that their daughters were seeing.
Right.
Now it's like girls will go after the guy that like feels
Feels good.
It feels good, but that's not usually the best husband.
And guys will do the same thing. Guys will go after a girl that
an IG baddie.
Yeah, an IG baddie that looks great, and you know what? Her whole attitude is ridiculous, and she doesn't know how to be a mother. She doesn't know how to be a cook. She doesn't know how to clean. She doesn't know how to do all of the things that you would expect from the duties that you would expect from a wife. So yeah, I just think, the institution's outdated because I think human beings in the West generally have outgrown the essentials of what marriage is.
Got their claws out.
I could hear the chairs like creaking back there, like double dutch, like they want to get in.
There were so many points I disagreed with. I just need to say, firstly,
Are we talking about marriage being outdated? You think it's not outdated?
the divorce statement. It is hard to get divorced. I say that because there are several steps you have to take. You have to prove to the courts that you have tried everything. You have to go through mediation. You've got to go to counselling. You've got to get a decree nisi. You then have to wait 6 months, a year, to see whether you can form again, and then you get your divorce.
Would you agree that if 50% of people that get married are doing it, it's not that hard? Because it's not hard enough that it deters.
But there are
That means out of us 6, half of us would be able to get a divorce.
But that's the same way that if I had 6 women here, half of us would probably be able to make babies and half wouldn't. And some would say it's easy to procreate,
No.
some would say it's easy to conceive, some say it was easy to give birth, but it's not.
Do you think it's hard to give birth?
There are
That's incorrect.
complicated.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
There are
I think most women can give birth.
80% of women have reproduced historically.
I'm talking about how complicated it is with the food that we eat, the contraceptives that we take, the lifestyle that we choose to live.
Right.
Things are complicated.
If you make
When I'm talking about twerking, because I twerk,
You do
does
twerk?
that? I do.
Oh, okay.
Does that mean that I'm not wife material?
To some men, yeah.
If you were my wife,
Yeah.
and you went to a club and you were twerking,
So are we saying strippers are not
Get
wife
out of
material?
here, man.
Wait,
They're
that's your
not.
value.
They're not.
It's
Yeah,
her job.
I agree.
But why can't it be my job? Why can't it be my job? I got a
okay.
fat ass and I know how to make
Not
money
my wife.
for me. Why?
Someone else's
Because-
wife.
Why?
because-
Can I be
because-
someone else's
because
wife and
this
be
is-
like,
This
it's
is
not
what
mine.
you want to do. You want the benefits without the consequences. Like the consequences, men aren't attracted to women that shake their ass on a pole outside of a one-night stand. They're not attracted to that long-term typically because historically men had to ensure paternity.
So I'm at carnival and I'm shaking my ass.
different.
I'm not wife material.
No.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you?
Are you really?
Can
No,
I
I'm
ask you
being
a
serious.
question? Can I ask you a question?
No,
Do you
no,
think?
hang
Do you
on, I'll
think
tell you what.
every?
So you are ruling out half of the band names
no,
at
I
carnival, yeah?
I tell you what you are. You're someone else's wife material. You're not mine. But I'm saying if you go to a club and you're twerking with a guy and you're my wife, you're no longer my wife. You're his girl for the night. For some reason, you're his girl because my wife wouldn't do that.
Marriage is a concept that serves to trap women.
Trap women? Oh,
Get her out of here. Trap women.
Marriage is
for
a
a laugh.
concept that
pays
serves
them
to
to
trap
leave.
women.
I'm getting trapped out here.
Oh wow.
Better talk to yourself.
Trap women.
I can't believe that.
No, you're paid to leave.
There's a part of you lot left there.
I feel like you two should start because you didn't get to say anything last time.
Personally, I think marriage favours women more than anything. I think it's a security for women, if anything, rather than keeping them hostage. It's easier for them to divorce. It's easier for them to block the whole thing off. Statistically, most divorces are started by women, initiated by women, for all sorts of different reasons. So them being locked into marriage is, it's a farce, to be honest.
But I don't know, I think we're basing it on the UK. When we think about third world countries where opportunity lies if you get married and sometimes visa, stay, spousal things, to be fair, a lot of women in lower economic backgrounds actually rely on a marriage to get them out of situations.
That's not a bad thing. That like relying on people, that's like the foundation of marriage is you rely on each other. And
but
a lot
if
of
he's
times, and a lot of
mistreating
times, can I finish? And I say, and a lot of times, like we look at women as they were like trapped throughout all of history or in third world countries, but they get protection from the man. They get provisioning from the man. Like it's
Some
not,
also get abused by the man.
You're right.
So
but
then they are
is
stuck
that
in
your
this
opinion
relationship.
Is that your opinion on men that by and large they're abusing women?
No, that's
But
my
what I'm-
experience, because that's the field that I work in. So I know women that are being abused in marriages, but are
they
stuck.
Western Well,
it's actually-
no, they're not.
so
That's what I was
if-
saying.
Like
if you-
Muslim marriages or
Right,
something like that.
and
If
women
you-
that come to the UK from different lower economic countries, they're stuck in that because they're waiting on their visa. And if they walk away from that marriage, it's only now the law has changed.
If you,
Well, look, when
if you
you're
look
saying
at, hold on, when you look at one-sided abuse, when one side is hitting the other and it's not returned, women do it more than men do. They do it 70% of the time because most abusive situations are hitting each other.
I can't
So
tell
you see those marriages you're talking about though, like
Yeah.
non-Western marriages, I get you. Because I think is in certain cultures, a man can just say, I divorce you 3 times and
Yes.
then she's divorced, and then a woman can't do the same thing. So I
Right.
get it. Do you get what I'm saying?
But here-
in the Western world,
Yeah.
a woman can get out of a marriage quite easily.
And she's paid to. She's paid to leave.
do it. She can lie about it
Yeah.
and get out of a divorce. She can cheat and then get the man's money, his house, his children.
Not always.
Hashtag OJ Simpson.
No, when you go to court, he has to prove she's cheated.
If he can't
First,
prove
it's
she
not that-
cheated,
yeah. Because they ask you why are you getting divorced, and they will say Is it adultery? Is it
But then he has the burden of
unreconcilable differences? It's not just so easy. That's what I'm saying. You
or
can't
a
just say,
girl-
oh yeah,
a
I
one
saw
out of-
WhatsApp in her phone.
She twerked on the guy in the club.
That's not
Or
a valid.
what they'll also do is one out of four marriages is sexless usually on the woman's part. So a girl can also not give her guy sex, and then if he cheats, she can go to the courts and say, oh, he cheated, but you haven't slept with him in 2 years. What did you think was going to happen?
If you're not feeling loved, I'm not opening my legs. I could be married a little more.
You don't
But
think
if I'm
it's a
not
duty
feeling
okay, what
adored,
if a guy doesn't feel like protecting you? Someone walks into the home, I don't feel like it.
Like, you don't love me, I'm
then
not
I'll
protecting
die.
you. Yeah, but
So that you don't get
no man would
sex.
let that happen. Hang on.
Exactly.
So you don't think sex is a duty in marriage?
I don't know.
Of course it's a duty. Where's he else getting it from?
Why is it a duty?
It's a duty. When you sign a contract, you're supposed to have sex with your man.
Do you know that this is my body?
Yes. So, all right, fine. And if that is
How
your...
is this our body?
He's buying it.
Are your genes in this body?
They can be. They can be.
But this is when you
I think
want
duty
all
is
the
the wrong
benefits
word.
of marriage without the cost. Like no guy's
married now, this is our
Okay.
body
I just have a
together now.
question for the men. Would you get married if there was no sex involved?
No.
No, I don't
Would you get? Would
No
you,
man would.
That's what. Would you get married if there was no
That's like
sex?
in a bit of a
Duty
relationship.
is the wrong word. It has connotations that
Duty.
I think duty is
that's
wrong.
right.
Duty.
It's my duty as your husband.
Okay, so
Hang
I'm
on.
carrying your child.
But it's my duty as your husband to
Make sure you look
protect you, right?
after.
I didn't say that was your duty.
No, but don't you think
that's
so?
what you align to what marriage is for
Okay, what's a
you.
man's duty in a marriage?
What's his
It's not
duty
to
then?
protect me.
What's his
For
duty?
me, we're partners. I'm in a partnership when I'm in a marriage.
so you take
we're
the bins
giving
out?
the same way. I'm taking the bins out
Alright,
right
cool.
now.
Don't sign me up.
I'm doing it all. I'm doing the flat pack.
So a crazy burglar runs in the house, and I'll be like, "You're up, love."
But I might be bigger than you, so yes. How about that? I'm up.
Oh,
and I might be
get out
trained in
of here.
firearms. And yes, I'm up.
Oh, why do women do this?
I'm
Like,
just
why do
saying
they
that
act like
I
they
can.
can? Why
I'm telling you, I can defend you.
Why do women act like they're men? Like you're not
Why
a
is that
man.
man?
Because you know men are physically stronger than women. You know that
Okay, and
I
generally.
probably can
it's-
lift more than you anyway.
No, you
my
can't. Look, here's the thing. I'm a 3-sport college athlete. I've played with guys. You're not keeping up with the dude.
Why?
So even the average dude is going to outlift you, and you saying like that's not true is disingenuous.
I'm not saying it's true, but I can defend myself. I now live by myself.
You
So
can't.
if someone comes through my door
you
today,
cannot defend-
who is going to defend
You-
me?
he-
Nobody but me.
Yeah, but if you lived with a
That's
man
what I'm
now,
trying to say.
you'd expect
No,
him to
but
do
what
it.
you're trying to say is because you're here, I can't defend myself. I
Okay,
can
maybe the
defend
word is
myself.
can't.
okay,
Because I've been
okay,
defending
yes or no?
The fact
myself.
that you have a man there is
I'm-
your first point of call.
Do you think
we will
that-
say
It was lovely.
It doesn't mean you can't, but it means I'm married to you. I'm willing to.
I'm gonna move on because I put the bed on top.
You need a mediator in this circle.
You see when the Titanic went down, I'd have been like, no,
Do you want me
she
to
can do it
mediate?
herself, man. I'm going on the boat.
That's why Rose lived.
She's got no.
That's why
I'm on the
Rose
boat,
lived.
not the women and children getting protected. Nah, man.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Marriage is a privilege and not a right.
Privilege.
Marriage
Yes.
is a privilege.
Yeah, it's a privilege. You're not entitled to anything in life. You know, there's something you share with someone else that you agree with. That you're not entitled to it. It's nice if you want it and you get it, but no one's entitled to it. It is a privilege.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a privilege. You're not entitled to love from anyone. I think it's a privilege to have a man take that much risk for you. I think that's absolutely a privilege because men take up a lot of risk in marriage.
I think marriage is definitely a privilege. You're not entitled to a woman's love. Like you got to work for it in the beginning.
I think the reason why it's a privilege nowadays is because so many people are not marriage material. And I think, so many people are, both men and women though, I think so many people are not marriage material. And I think when a man has to create his value, right? He's got to create his value and become that man that women want to marry.
Yeah.
Equally, a woman has to create a value to become that woman that a man wants to be. And that's why so many people are not getting married nowadays, because whether consciously or subconsciously, they see within the other sex, you're not quite marriage material.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a privilege.
I think the material part that you're saying, I think culturally, I think maybe it's where toxic masculinity can come into play, and maybe in what you said earlier about women trying to be men may bring a bit of skewed factors as to the value systems, as to what people are getting into when they get married. And a lot of breakdowns that I hear tends to break down around that value system of what they believe it should be like and what the wife should be like, and then there's this. So the material part, I think, comes back to how are we teaching what marriage is, what our value of marriage is, and whether we're just doing it for the benefits of it or whether we actually want to do it for the sake of actually choosing to love someone.
And I think the risks are for both. I know we're hearing about women walking away from children, but I think it's just as risky
100%.
for a woman to choose a particular man to get married to. Because honestly, you don't really know often what you're marrying into, whether you're marrying into a family of chaos and
You haven't done that research yet before you marry?
But you might not know until, sometimes you don't know. So you apply for a job.
You should know.
No. What says?
You're gonna get married.
Definitely not. On a job description, it says something, whatever. You go through your probation period, it's fantastic. 3 months, and then you see the truth.
I do think though, if somebody was going to be an abuser, if you are with them in a relationship for 10 years and then you get married, they're not going to just randomly start abusing you because you're married. I don't, that's not how it works. Like if somebody is an abuser, there's a pattern of it.
That shows up quite early.
Yeah, and if you've been with them long enough and you've vetted them long enough, you'll either see those signs or, God forbid, you'd actually experience that yourself.
I think the most risk is always going to be for men if women are paid to leave. And that's how it's set up now. And you can see that with the results because more women leave. It's a 90% chance she leaves if you're college educated.
Divorce is a business. The richest women in America right now are divorcees. They're billionaires.
Okay.
Outside
Jeff
of Oprah.
Bezos,
Okay.
Bill Gates.
So what does that actually mean?
It's a business. So you
you guys are statistics. So they're married to billionaires and the divorce.
Bezos didn't
It doesn't mean that.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean.
No, but it doesn't matter. But I'm saying for
So
the
are you
women.
saying she married him purely because of money?
No, but what I'm
and then
saying is,
divorced him at the right time
what
to
I'm saying
get
is,
paid?
women are incentivized to
Yes.
lead their man.
Okay, but if you
they're
was married-
incentivized to lead their man.
My point was that
for 10
divorce
years now,
isn't
she's
only
had your kids,
a money
would you wanna give
consequence.
up?
I was saying that when women get divorced, obviously there's a money aspect to it, but I was saying that there's also a mental, emotional consequence to it as well.
Yeah, of
Nobody gets, anyone that knows divorce, it's not the same.
True.
Afterwards.
That's
So
right.
that's also a consequence where, and I don't think any woman or man is just getting married with the desire to get divorced.
You're correct, but there's a difference between like emotional damage that's going to happen on both sides, but she is rewarded. Men are not.